We will we'll go off the air at 2 minutes till. So if you're trying to call and you didn't get through, feel free to call back. Every week we do a poll, and this week on our poll is Hypocrite of the Week. We got a phone call. Hello.
Yes, sir, Farron.
Yes.
Yes, how you do today?
Good. How you doing?
Oh, doing all right. Hey, I just wanted to commend you on your words there a little bit earlier on real freedom.
Well, thank you.
I think the bottom line is with real freedom comes real responsibility. I think people need to be well aware of that.
Well, I agree with you, and I appreciate that. The reason I wanted to say that was just in response to some of the email that I get asking why I feel this way or what do I expect to happen and that kind of thing.
Yep, people have to learn to stand on their own 2 feet. You know, when they start hollering for government money, they got to realize that ain't government money. That's the taxpayers' money. That's mine and your money that they're robbing from us all the time.
Yeah, to give money to one, they got to take it from someone else, and we've got such a large entitlement program here in this country. It's just out of control.
You got that right. You got that right. For most of it stuff that's even unnecessary.
Hey, what did you think?
It's just a shame and it's a travesty. That's for sure.
What did you think about the NIST report on World Trade Center 7 claiming that it fell by fire as we expected them to report?
Well, what else? I mean, what else would you expect?
Well,
but, you know, I agree with you on that. There's way more to it than what they're letting on, or what they're going to say anyway.
Well, I appreciate you calling. Is there anything else you'd like to add today?
No, sir. Just keep up the good work.
Hey, appreciate it. You have a good day.
Have a good.
On our poll, Hypocrite of the Week, we've got John Edwards, media for slanting the coverage regarding the Russia-Georgia conflict, Condoleezza Rice for criticizing Russia for using aggression, FBI once again for its anthrax fairy tale. And the winner is Condoleezza Rice for criticizing Russia for its acts of aggression. Every week, too, we also have a quote of the week, and this week our quote is, "'Tis our true policy to steer clear of permanent alliances with any portion of the foreign world." And that was from George Washington, and I think we could have done well if we would have abided by some of that. And every week we also have a call to action, and this week we're going to invite local candidates to join us in September and October prior to the election. We want to interview our area politicians, have them in, and take questions from you, the listeners. So this week's call to action, if you're a local candidate for office, Statesville, Mooresville, Davie County, get in touch with us here on The Real News to schedule a time. If anyone listening has a guest that you would like to us to have on, or any suggestions that you might have, or questions for our guest next week, which is going to be Professor Griffin, and we're going to be finishing up on 9/11 Truth and Fiction. Our email address is onair at therealnewsradio.com, and we will do our best to see what you have in mind. And again, local candidates will be our focus in the couple coming weeks just prior to the election. I would like to also report that Reuters reported that the worst of the global financial crisis is yet to come, and a large U.S. bank will fail in the next few months as the world's biggest economy hits further trouble. And this is being reported by former IMF chief economist Kenneth Rogoff. He said this on Tuesday. "The U.S. is not out of the woods. I think the financial crisis is at the halfway point, perhaps. I would not even go further to say the worst is to come," he told a financial conference. "We're not going to see mid-sized banks go under in the next few months. We're going to see a whopper. We're going to see a big one of the big investment banks or big banks," said Rogoff, who is an economic professor at Harvard University and was the International Monetary Fund's chief economist from 2001 to 2004. "We have to see more consolidation in the financial sector before this is over," he said, when asked for early signs of an end to a crisis. "Probably Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, despite what the U.S. Treasury Secretary Hank Paulson said. These giant mortgage guarantee agencies are not going to exist in their present form in a few years." Rogoff's comments come as investors dump shares of the large U.S. home fund companies Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac on Monday, after a newspaper report said that the government officials may have no choice but to effectively nationalize the U.S. housing finance titans. We have been reporting on the economy. Gas goes down 40 cents a gallon, and the public wants to think everything is getting better. And trust me, I hope it does. But unfortunately, a look at our indebtedness, our national debt that is growing past $10 trillion, our spend-happy, do-nothing, incompetent Congress, especially in the last 8 years, Democrats and Republicans alike, are to blame for our economic problems today and what will continue in the future. And now we're seeing strong speculation that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac could have to be bailed out, which is saying that the ignorant mistakes economically of our government will once again be passed on to the U.S., to us and our children and grandchildren. I say enough is enough, and it's high time that we stand up and demand a government that works and represents some common sense and represents us, we the people. And again, our email address is onair@therealnewsradio.com. Stay in tuned. War Eagles football comes on at noon on 1520. Next week, our guest is going to be David Griffin. He's a professor of philosophy and religion. We'll be finishing up our 9/11, the truth and the fiction. And if anyone has anything they would like to comment on that, feel free to get in touch with us. We're working on our website. We're making some real changes on therealnewsradio.com. So check that out. And until next week, this is Farron and Brian saying, God help us all.